Yes, I'm getting a little fluffy. Mind your business. I've been putting this off for so long. I feel like a Kardashian under all these lights. What go on YouTube? It's your girl Salon Savannah back with another video yet again. And today, I'm going to be spilling the tea on me.
The most important thing in business is honesty, integrity, hard work, family, never forgetting where we came from. Thank you, Charlotte.
Wow, this one's money. Don't know I came to regulate fully. I was at you with a tool and a hoodie. Now I shut down shows and make out one body. She's on a
So let's get into it. Essentially, this video is a testimony and just a tell-all on why I've been MIA for the past year, because I genuinely ghosted from everything and everyone. I've been ghosted off social media for over a year now. And before that, if you were following me or you know me, I was very active on Instagram. I was doing like daily Instagram polls, always throwing down in that outfit. I was just active, both on my personal and on my business page. I really lost my mojo with posting. I really didn't feel like showing up on social media when everything in my life wasn't really where I really wanted it to be. Hold on, let me get cozy, because if I'm going to be chatting my business, I'm going to be cozy. Okay, hold up. That's better. So, in a nutshell, last year I genuinely had one of, if not the hardest year of my entire life. I won't say the whole year, because it started off really good. I was on a flow. We was at the UK Black Business Show. There were just so many positive things happening. There always is lessons mixed in with the stress and all the rest. However, last year was just next level. It just really took a massive turn. And although I'm in a much better place now, let me just put that out there, I was genuinely physically, emotionally, spiritually just broken. Just absolutely broken. There was just so much things happening back to back. I was still pushing through, I was still going, I was still showing up to my business, but just barely. You know, you're barely there. You're just kind of in survival mode or just existing. I really do want to thank the people that have reached out to me. There's been so many people that have reached out to me just to say, where have you been, Shana? Like, we've been missing your content, you know, like, is everything okay? So let's go all the way back. There's a spider up there, it's really bugging me. I'm trying to focus on the video, but I can't even. Now, bear with me on this story time, because there's so many layers to it. And I contemplated some parts I did want to mention, didn't want to mention, but at the same time, I'm just telling my truth, and this is actually the year I had. So, as you guys know, I've been running my company since 2018, Seasonal Glo. We offer massages, waxing, makeup, aesthetics, and I started the company in my house and I moved it to a salon that was nearby. I'm not going to name the salon. I was there for 14 months. Everything was going amazing. You know, my clients loved it. And then the owner came back the end of 2022, but started work in January 2023. And if I'm being completely honest, that's when all of the little weird things started to happen. Like, the atmosphere just wasn't the same. The dynamic of the salon just wasn't the same, because she came with a lot of bulldog changes and they were against her own rules, if that makes sense. So there was a rule at the salon that no one was allowed to have the same service as someone else. So when I went to that salon, I dropped doing facials, even though my company was doing it for years before that. And I just respected the rules. Like, I just kept it at that. I'm not doing facials anymore. There was a lovely lady there that was doing it. But when this owner came back, she just completely switched up the rules to benefit herself, her business. She can do what she likes. However, it changes the dynamic when you do things like that. So the lady that was officially doing the facials before I got there, me and her are really cool, she decided to leave. So it meant that my company was then able to do facials, did all the proper channels, made sure I asked the lady that was running the shop and also the owner when she was in a different country at the time. And she was all cool with it. When it came to January, when she came to the UK, she started doing the services that I was doing. But instead of just saying to me, you know, I'm going to be offering them, I'd just kind of seen things pop up on the booking system. Then my settings were just all being adjusted so that I couldn't access things to manage my staff properly. There was just loads of weird things that I was noticing. I was just thinking, that's weird. So I asked if I could have like a one-on-one meeting, spoke about all these things. She pretended that she didn't know that I was doing the facials, even though I've got all the receipts from every single conversation when I directly asked these things. And it just started to go downhill from there. Like on the surface it looked really bubbly and beautiful, and the salon looked like it was amazing vibes, but under the surface you could just see something was brewing with this woman. She would never admit it, ever admit it, but I just know how to read energies. And just the whole overly friendly, let's meet up, let's go for coffee, let's do business together, let's collaborate, but then taking away my ability to even change my staff's hours or adjust my company's services. They just don't match. It doesn't match someone saying, oh, I want to see you grow and prosper, but then taking away all the tools that you've had for so long to grow and prosper. Anyway, irrelevant part of the story, but I'm a girl, so I'm finna tell all the details. Fast forward to the Black Business Show, invested hundreds and hundreds in marketing, went all out with it, and I asked for permission to put the company that I was renting from on my flyers because I wanted to promote that that's where I am. And I was in an agreement that that was going to be my hard-won base. It was always a goal of mine to always open up my own salon one day. Still is, still am going to do that. But because I'd loved the atmosphere there so much before the owner came back, we were all cool with the fact that that was going to be my hard-won base, and I was going to stay there for a long period of time. I was set up there, invested a lot of money to get the whole place, you know, looking amazing. That was my base. The owner at this point was still saying, let's collaborate, you know, like, let's do things together. So when I say things weren't matching, the energy of want to see you grow, want to see you prosper, and just the undertone of I just don't like you. I had a meeting with the owner. She asked to set this up and she said, you know, let's collaborate. I want to do something together where we're both doing facials. And then a week and a half after that, the second meeting fell through. She had something to do. No problem, like, we'll reschedule. So then in total 2 weeks after, I get a call from the other lady that was running it saying, so sorry, we want to give you notice. We're giving you a month's notice and we need you to leave the salon. Okay. When I say this was out of the blue, I mean out of the blue. I've naturally just said, you know, okay, and can I just ask what the reason is for that? And she said out her mouth, the reason is because we just feel like you've outgrown the place, and we feel like you're bigger than, I won't say the name of them, but you're bigger than us, and it's time for you to get your own salon. To some people that would sound like a compliment. It was a backhanded piece of disrespect, because it was basically the cop-out version of saying, while you're here, the owner doesn't feel like she can grow. Because in my opinion, the owner felt like she was going to come back to all her old client base. She'd moved out of the country for about 2 years. She felt like she was going to come back to all her old client base. Everything was going to go back to normal. She was going to be on the same revenue as she was before, but nothing go so. And you see somebody like me in the salon and I'm doing okay. I'm getting clients. Even some of your old clients you're seeing come to me for services that you used to do. And quite frankly, I know it was bothering her. It was bothering her that someone else is in the salon prospering, someone else is doing well, and her reality wasn't meeting her expectations. She didn't come back to the massive client base that she'd left before she left out the country. Then you have the audacity of this young black girl to be in your salon, doing okay for herself, bringing in clients, and it just bothered her. I feel like she started to do little things way before that moment to try and sabotage me. Like no one else would have known the little things that were happening behind the scenes building up to this point. The owner kept on just doing weird things, like even just accusing me of being in the salon on days when I weren't in the salon, and then afterwards saying, oh, I'm so sorry, it was me, like I thought I heard noises but it wasn't you. I thought you left the shutters up but it was me, I opened it and forgot. Like these type of things here. Not going to make any fun of anyone that's struggling with their memory, but it was just giving, I want to find something on you. I want to find something just to have an excuse to say this is why I don't want you here, this is why I don't like you. And when that failed, you just start making up things then to tell someone that you feel like they've outgrown your salon. I feel like that's something that they're supposed to tell you themselves. I'm supposed to say I'm leaving now because I've outgrown the salon. You can't tell me if I've outgrown it. You have no idea what my income is. You have no idea if I feel like I need more space or if I'm okay. Their thing was, I'm outgrowing them because I've got staff and because I'm growing as a business. But I always had staff. I had staff from the very first day I went there because I had staff in my house. And again, went back, found receipts to make sure for my own peace of mind I had the receipts to say I mentioned my staff in the beginning. And of course, in the beginning when you're offering money and you're a fresh new face, everyone's lovely. Yeah, we love that you have staff, that's amazing. It was only a problem when the lady came back. Just before I got this notice, I was asked if I wanted to rent a second room. And I was asked if I wanted to rent that room and have both, the downstairs and the upstairs. And when I politely declined, that's when everything went left. That's when it was like, okay, you don't want to give us any more money. You're here earning money. I don't like this. I don't like this audacious black girl in the salon feeling like she can make money, make a living for herself and prosper while I've just came back from a different country and business isn't doing the same for me. Anyway, on top of the fact that I then had to move everything out of the salon in 1 month and find a new place to make sure that I was ready for all my clients, because I had anniversaries booked in, birthdays booked in. Like, I didn't want to let down those clients. Now, I'd sent an email just breaking down my experience, and the sorry, it's not even funny. I just have to laugh because I'm still in disbelief. It was like, okay, we told you we're letting you go because we feel like you're outgrowing the place, but now because you've said all these things about your experience working with us, we're gonna go all out with our new reasons as to why we don't want you there. Things like, you didn't ask for permission to put your flyer up on the table. On God, I asked for permission. We had a whole conversation, me and this woman, and then again, the memory loss and the selective memory thing, like, I just couldn't. I know in my heart I did not deserve the treatment that I received in the last few months of my stay there. However, ups and left, moved, found a new place, and I had a wall built in this place within 4 days. So God delivered. But the huge part that I left out of all that waffling was that just before the notice, I took a pregnancy test. Oh gosh. I took a pregnancy test and the results were positive. So in the midst of all the drama that I just spoke about, I was actually pregnant. And although I was really excited about the pregnancy, although I was really like, let's go, I'm gonna have a baby number 2, I obviously didn't anticipate that I was gonna have to go through a big change within my business. I had already pre-planned out in my head, right, I'm pregnant, I live very close to the salon I'm working at, so I can easily just go into work and do a few hours because it's my own business, like I can run my own hours. I just had it all figured out. But as they say, when you make a plan, God laughs, because he definitely wanted me out of that. At the time I couldn't have comprehended why it was all happening, and I just genuinely was so stressed. But I just know God wanted me away from certain energies. God did not want me around people that did not want to see me prosper. I could feel the energy was off, and God said, let me clear your path right now. You're gonna come out of this place. They kept saying we just wanted their salon to just be their salon, even though they just hired someone else that wasn't a part of their salon to work there. Because truthfully, that salon will always work better without her there. There's other genuine people that were running that salon better. They were much better at talking to people and communicating and being friendly. I just don't think that she's much of a people person. Anyway, it's time now for Seasonal Glo to move into a complete new space that's just for me, just for my staff, and just not to really feel like I'm answering to anyone, because essentially answering to people holds me back, And as much as these experiences have been stressful, I'm thankful for them because they've set my goals 10 times higher than before. Not to prove anything to these people, but to prove something to myself. Like, I really got comfortable in that first place, thinking I was really going to stay there long periods of time and it was going to be my hard-born base. That was never going to be a part of God's plan, because God wants me to prosper, and I know that. Next chapter. Following the pregnancy news, it was like short-lived excitement. I was so excited to be bringing life into the world. What started out as one of the best things in my life, it just became chronic stress, because trying to move an entire salon, knowing that you're not supposed to be lifting heavy things, knowing that you're vomiting every morning, knowing that you're not feeling like you're in your own skin and your own body, is very stressful. And my pregnancy symptoms just started to progress and progress and progress. So I just felt really unhappy. I feel like we were all under so much pressure, even as a family, because everyone had to come in for me. Like, everyone had to come in and grab a bag, take down shelves, like handrails, and it was just like a massive project. I really would not have been able to do it without my loved ones around me, just having my back, because I physically was no use to anyone. The concoction of morning sickness, overly stressing and searching for a new salon, having some family members just overly excited and congratulate me on my pregnancy, and others just like really skeptical for like caring reasons, like skeptical, like, oh my gosh, how are you gonna do that and run your business? Oh, you're pregnant and you're about to move salon. Like that type of feeling, like those type of things just started to just grate me down. So I stopped telling anyone that I was pregnant, and I really was just in this little bubble. Like, I was just in this little bubble where I was just tunnel visioned. How am I gonna make this work? How am I gonna make this work? Like, literally, I was that stressed. And I'm not somebody that really gets stressed easily. Like, I can roll my sleeves up and usually just get things done. But add hormones to it, I was that stressed that if someone said to me, oh my gosh, congratulations, because they knew I was pregnant, it would break me into tears. Like, congratulations, you know. Congratulations is supposed to be the most positive thing that somebody could say to you when you're pregnant. Someone saying congratulations to me used to break my heart, because I was under so much stress and so much pressure, and just the lies from the owner were just killing me, because I know that I've got a lot more integrity than that. Bringing life into the world is the biggest blessing, but because of the timing and just where my mind was at the time, I just felt like it was the most heartbreaking thing to hear congratulations, when I didn't feel like celebrating. I didn't feel like celebrating my life choices in them moments. I just felt like I'd thrown my career under the bus. That wasn't true, but that's how I felt in that moment. Found a new place literally just in the nick of time. I think there was like a week left to find somewhere. There was still the drama with the owner, and then one of my clients connected me with another lady that was just about to move into a salon, and they said, yeah, you could move in. Only thing is, we don't have an actual room, it's a complete open plan. So if you want this space, here's where you can use, and you just have to build a wall. So in 4 days, I got a wall built. And even though I was so thankful that I'd found somewhere and I didn't have to cancel any clients, I'll be honest, I just weren't happy. Like, where I've moved to, it was on the high street, so you know, it's more of a premium location. You've got more foot traffic. You know, the lady was a lot more helpful in terms of like, let's promote you, like, do you want to put a sticker on the front door, the back door? Like, she just really was like, let's go, I want to tell my clients about you, I want them to know that you're here. So I felt thankful that I had that. However, I just couldn't shake the feeling deep down that I was going backwards, because aesthetically the other salon was a lot more pleasing to look at. Like, it was a lot more on brand with my company. So I did feel like, no disrespect to the place I moved to, because as I said, I would not have a place if it wasn't for them just last minute saying, I've got you, no worries, move in. So no disrespect when I say this, but I felt like my company was going backwards in terms of quality and standard visually. Blood clot fly. I can't tip, let me see. Move your blood clot. Now, I don't mean to sound ungrateful to the couple that gave me the opportunity to build the wall and rent there. However, if I'm being completely honest, I just felt like my business stepped down in quality from them. Like even some of my regulars just weren't as comfortable in the environment. And you know, a lot of them said, I love you, your services are amazing, but can't stand the noise from next door. Just other things that were just making my clients feel too uncomfortable to want to be in that environment, and it just, I wasn't happy there either. It was like I was trying to make shit and glitter look like gold. Like, respectfully, couldn't wait to leave, but I also knew that I needed to ride it out. It was lower rent, it was an opportunity to just get into planning mode, stay put for a little bit of time while I was trying to figure things out, because you're just really uncertain about how things are going to go when you're pregnant. And like I said, I just weren't feeling like myself. I was really unhappy, so I weren't in the right mindset to be making any big decisions and opening up a new massive salon or anything like that. So I just wanted to take my time. I just needed God to walk with me on the journey, because it got to the point where that's all I wanted to do, was just be in my own thoughts with God, praying, on the phone to my mom, on the phone to my dad. I didn't want to be around people. I didn't feel good to be around people. Those people that I rented off have never actually met the real me. Like, they've genuinely only met a version of me that was deeply, deeply depressed. Like, they never actually got the true businesswoman that just rolls her sleeves up and can't wait to get to work every day, because I was in so much pain during the pregnancy that I'd taken a lot of time off. Even like I took a trip away, probably like a week or two after meeting them. I went to Ibiza. I can insert some pictures. But as for Ibiza, that was a fucking joke. The fact that I booked Ibiza before I got pregnant and was planning to have one of those birthdays, my first Ibiza holiday, and no one knows I'm pregnant. So I'm here talking about, oh, I don't drink, like I'm Virgin Mary, knowing damn well I can't drink, and I wish I was pissed off my face, slammering down the aisles. That, please deep the scene. I'm in Ibiza. Me, big bashment queen me, is hearing unt. Now, man, I was vexed. And then everyone told me to go to Ibiza Rocks. Ibiza Rocks is the one. Ibiza Rocks stinks. Ibiza Rocks stinks like dog. I don't know what it is about that water, but something is in the water that I wouldn't put my dead dog in, and I don't even have a dog. You can tell I just really weren't myself. Like, I just was so hormonal that I spent a lot of that holiday crying. I spent a lot of that holiday just in my feelings, just really down. It was just me and my sister sometimes in thoughts. Like, you can hear the people in the corridor in Ibiza Rocks just playing all their unts music, and I'm there just playing gospel and bawling in the shower. Like, I just had so much emotion stored up in me that I just needed to get out. I just wanted to feel happy, but I just couldn't figure out how. I just couldn't break that barrier down of trying to see the brighter side of things. I was really stuck on, my business is going backwards, my business is not in as much of a luxury venue as it was before. Like, I don't know how to go on to the next stepping stone. Is it the right time to go to the next stepping stone? I just wasn't 100% at all. And because I felt like the quality of my business went down, that was the beginning of me stopping posting on my business social media, because that's when I started to feel like I don't want to post this venue, because this doesn't represent what my business represented, my quality And again, no disrespect, me and the lady I was renting from just have different styles, and it just wasn't my vibe. Just wasn't my vibe. Again, really appreciate having the place, but it just weren't my aesthetic. So I didn't want to take pictures there, and even though everyone came and was like, oh my gosh, what were you talking about, like, this room looks amazing, it looked amazing because I put my spin on it. But you can't put glitter on and make it gold. Like, it's still, I can smell and I can see the glitter. So I just weren't loving it. So I went from loving what I do, loving coming into work, excited, dressing up, taking pictures all the time, to just dragging my feet. Like, I was turning up at the same time that clients were turning up, or just turning up 5 minutes after them, like, and just being really apologetic, which just isn't me. Like, I'm not the best with timekeeping, but when it comes to my business, I'm on point with stuff like that. So I just knew that I just really wasn't in a happy place, and I wasn't putting the right type of love that I was supposed to put into my business. I had some amazing experiences there along the way. I still met some amazing clients. I'm glad that I was still up and running, but it just weren't for me. And the couple, they, again, nowhere near like the same thing that I had in the property, the place I was renting from before then. But they were just, again, just weird little things. Like, it started off as, we're not going to give you a key because we're not sure yet, because, you know, we have to get to know each other. Absolutely fine. To then it being, okay, we're going to give you the key now, but we're going to give you the wrong key. So when you then have to call us and say, oh, like, the key's not working, we're going to change our mind the next day and just be like, oh, well, you know, sorry, we're going to just take the key back now and just leave it as it is. I just felt like an absolute child. I had to walk around the building to come in the same way that the clients did, rather than have my own staff entrance, which doesn't match up to someone saying with business partners. I had to have an open room. So in the first place I rented from, I had my own key, I locked it, went home at the end of the night knowing all my stuff were locked away and no one else could enter into my room. Whereas this one was like some share thing, so they would always be walking in and out of my room on my very expensive rug. Like, my rug doesn't even look the way that it was when I bought it. And there would be, like, you know, just using the sink. So it just felt invasive. It just felt like I didn't have my own space anymore. These things started to spiral into me just feeling lower and lower and lower and lower. Still busting jokes with my clients. Still, you know, having banter with certain friends and family, but just knowing inside I just weren't feeling 100%. Even just the walk from where I'd park my car to where I'd have to walk around to get into the salon, because as I said, I didn't have a key. That'd be nothing on a normal day. That, with the pain I was in, was awful. And I just found the lady really just, oh my gosh, sometimes just a lot. Like, you would walk into the salon not feeling 100%, and it would be like, oh gosh, you look tired, in front of everybody. And it would just be like, okay, I really needed to hear that while I was feeling like this. This is Chanel, guys. This is Chanel. She's struggling at the moment. She's vomiting every day. Aren't you? How far are you now? Why do I want these strangers to know this part of my business? Like, what? And you're trying to be polite, but at the same time inside you're thinking, this is how we're doing stuff now. Like, we just be to strangers. I need to be explaining my pregnancy symptoms to strangers. I just weren't feeling it, and I think they could feel that energy of just dragging my feet into work, and you don't want to be around that. So when it came to the 6 months, which is what I asked for a 6-month contract, then they didn't renew it, and truthfully I was okay with that. Even though I knew I was going to have to move all my stuff out of the salon, I felt relieved, because I just felt like, oh my gosh, get me out of here now, because the key situation was causing too much problems for me, because I had to change like the hours that I was available for my clients. With the other place, if I wanted to do a late night client, I could do that, and a lot of my clients that finished their 9 to 5, they could easily come in and do that. And they were making little comments like, you know, you can do it within our hours, but it wasn't about having surplus of clients that I couldn't do it within their hours. It was just my working hours were just really dodgy. Like, I could do random hours to fit my regulars because I trusted them and I didn't mind working out of hours for them. And a lot of them were my biggest income. So a lot of that changed as well, working there. And then the couple would walk in. Like, the couple walked in, I think, 3 or 4 different occasions. Now, someone doing intimate services like waxing, the clients are undressed, like they're bearing all. You can't be walking in when someone's doing stuff like that. Like, it was just so inappropriate, and there was always some sort of excuse. Oh, we didn't know you were in. Like, it was just like, why am I paying for this room to just have anyone walk in and embarrass me and my clients? A client actually walked in at one point because they thought it was the toilet. I thought you couldn't tell the client that it wasn't the toilet. And then on top of that, you're laughing. I just thought, get me out. Like, honestly, I'm at the point in my life where I know Seasonal Glo is going to prosper regardless. However, I don't know if I could go back to Seasonal Glo prospering in someone else's rented room, because people aren't fair, people aren't honest, and I know if someone else was like in the predicaments that they put me in, they wouldn't cope. They really wouldn't cope. Like the lady was saying, there's no synergy between my business and her business. Why on earth would I have synergy with a company that doesn't even trust me with my own key to enter in at my own? Do you know what I mean? Like, there's not going to be any synergy between our companies when you're treating me like a child. But I just had no energy. My nan kept saying to me, take the first company to court because of how they dealt with you. The second company, it's illegal for you to rent a room and not give a key. Like, sort that out. And I was just like to my nan, I'm so drained. I cannot give these people any more energy than I already have. As my pregnancy symptoms progressed, they were awful. I had hypermesis gravidium, whatever it's called, when you're basically vomiting every single day. So every other day I was vomiting throughout the entire pregnancy. Like, can you actually imagine? Can you please deep this for a second? It's not the first 3 months like it usually is. I literally was vomiting every day. I had hypersensitive smell, so anything could set me off to vomit throughout the day as well. If I could smell smoke, if I could smell somebody that will stink, if I could smell something in the fridge, or it just, everything used to set me off. Like, even the things I used to love set me off. So I was dealing with vomiting all the time. But naturally, you don't feel like yourself when you're vomiting and you're not able to keep down food because you're really dehydrated. Swollen ankles, pelvic girdle, gestational diabetes, hormonal depression, pregnancy sciatica. I just had the lot. I was going through it in that pregnancy, like truly going through it. Some points I would just be limping and just was struggling to take my son to school. I went deep into hiding as well because I just was in this space where I didn't really want to be around too many people. Not a lot of people knew I was pregnant, so I didn't want to be around them with my bump unless it was clients that just seen it growing anyway. And I didn't tell people that I was pregnant either. My car was playing up around this time as well, so I wasn't really doing too much driving up and down. So I feel like that was the birth of me becoming like a serious recluse. Like, I did not want to go anywhere, which was so similar to my pregnancy with Kamari. Like, I really was a recluse in that moment as well. Everything wasn't all bad. There was a period in the pregnancy where my mum and my sister threw me a gender reveal. The happiest moment of the entire pregnancy. Like, that was so beautiful. I'm gonna insert some footage. That's when I found out what I was having.
Oh my god.
I was like, that was just a true blessing. My mom got me a card. Oh man, I ain't gonna be crying on no more in YouTube. My mom got me a card. It was the story of the footprints. When the guy says to God, you know, in the sand, there's moments in my life where there's only one set of footprints. Why did you leave me? For each scene, he noticed two sets of footprints in the sand. One belonged to him and the other to the Lord. He looked back at the footprints in the sand and he noticed that many times along the path of his life, there was only one set of footprints. He also noticed that it happened at the very lowest and saddest times in his life. Oh man, I'm too emotional now.
Somebody did the last part. Where did the kids see me?
I can't.
This really bothers him. The Lord, Lord, why you said that once I decided to follow you, you walked with me all the way. But I had noticed that during the most troublesome times in my life, there is only one set of footprints. I don't understand why when I needed you the most, you would leave me. The Lord replied, my precious, precious child, I love you and I would never leave you during the times of trials and suffering. When you see only one set of footprints, that is when I carried you. You really have been carrying me through this whole pregnancy.
Always, yeah.
Thank you, Mum. I love you.
You know, we started reading it after the
So did I. That's why I just started joking.
That's why, Shannon, you're supposed to read the big one in here.
Beautiful, beautiful story. And just reading it just brought me because I kept saying throughout my pregnancy, God held me up. I didn't get through that pregnancy by myself. I wouldn't have the strength to get through a pregnancy like that by myself. God walked with me and God carried me the entire way, because the way how I felt, that was like next level pressure. Like I said, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, everything was draining. So that's not something that you can get through by yourself. That's something that only the Most High can carry you through. So that message spoke to me because that's something that I had conversations with my mum about. I kept telling my mum, you know, God's really, really carrying me through this right now. Because I know a lot of people would have crumbled under pressure. I know a lot of people would not have been able to carry on running their business while they felt like that. And it would be completely understandable. But I kept showing up. I kept going to work. Even through the pain, kept taking little man to school. So having that gender reveal just was a breath of fresh air, because I was able to just celebrate. It's something that I wasn't doing prior to that moment. As I said, I was so emotional that even congratulations would just bring me to tears, and I wasn't sharing the news with a lot of people. There was a very, very selected amount of people that knew at that point. So being able to just openly celebrate it just put things into perspective and just reminded me that I'm doing this for a reason. I'm gonna get to meet my baby girl at the end of this road. And I told my sister and my mom, I don't want loads of friends there. I don't want loads of family there. I just want it to be extremely intimate. And I want it to be with the people that have really closely been supporting me on this journey, checking in on me, and just making sure that I was good in one of the lowest times of my entire life.
You're welcome. So, what we make was like a half baby shower. And
Hope you enjoyed those videos because they were very intimate and they meant a lot to me. And don't get it twisted, because everyone's like, oh, you look so good pregnant. That was probably like one of 2 times that I even got dressed up in the pregnancy. So let's not go there, honey. I was looking a hot mess. That's another thing. I wasn't feeling like myself physically either, because I'm putting on weight. My nose was getting swollen. My ankles were swollen on the holidays because I went away in late December as well for Christmas, which was just the rest and retreat that we all needed, especially after what I'm going to speak about next. Just before that, we found out that my passed away in a stillbirth, and we were both due in February. And I just really imagined that I was about to have a daughter and a that were about to be Siamese twins. Like, I even used to say, like, I'm gonna have the both of them backseat in my car, in their car seats. They're gonna grow up as the best of friends. So that hit, And that also made me feel so guilty because there was so much complaining going on in my pregnancy. So much complaining about how down I felt, so much complaining about, you know, having to move salons, and so much complaining about things with just, you know, things with my partner and falling out with friends. Like, I just really felt like I'd taken what I was actually going through for granted. That was like the split moment where I was just like, no more complaining. Whatever happens, happens. Limp your way through this pregnancy, vomit your way through this pregnancy, swollen ankle, roll your way through this pregnancy if you have to, but appreciate this pregnancy because it's the thing that's about to bear the most beautiful gift on earth. So it was like a very big, complex amount of emotions. I had some of the lowest moments of my entire life in the past year, and now God has brought me to definitely some of the absolute highest highlights of my life. Like, I'm a mom of 2 now. That seems a bit surreal to say. I'm thankful to God I was able to bring my baby here safely. Thankful to God, especially knowing that we weren't so fortunate to be able to see the full term of the pregnancy. We buried her in January. She had a tiny little coffin. I said a few words, said a scripture at the funeral, and we buried her, which I wouldn't wish on anyone. I would never wish for anyone to have to go through that. Going through grieving, going through a lot of health issues and complications with the pregnancy, going through a lot of emotional turmoil. I had a therapist at one stage that I was talking to, and the one thing I can deeply give gratitude for in this pregnancy is that it brought me so much closer to God. I've always been a God-fearing person, but there's always room for progression when it comes to your relationship with God. And I definitely got closer and closer and closer to God because he's the only person that I could rely on. There's no one else that can truly understand what you're going through spiritually but God. I think if this mini vlog is anything, let it be a sign that there are going to be so much hard moments in your life. But if you are someone that believes in God, if you have faith that God is always walking beside you, then have that little bit of calmness, that little bit of patience that says, he's taking me on a journey, but he's going to bring me all the way through. He's not going to leave me stranded. He's not going to leave me by myself. He's going to carry me the entire way through. And at the same time that we're going through that, Kamari was brought into hospital. The ambulance brought him into hospital and he was in there for a week. And it was just stress. Like, he was just really unwell. Then 2 days after, I was admitted to hospital for a week because I was really ill. Like, I could not walk. I was so weak. I had no energy in my legs. They put me straight on a drip. And they had to give me oxygen. They kept me in for a week. Gave me CT scans, x-rays. They had me on blood thinners because they suspected a clot. I just was really going through it, like, health-wise. And after that, that prompted them to make sure that I was getting checked up every week and having scans just to check my baby's weight progress because they felt like that was not steady as well. But after all the drama, after all the stress, after everything that I've spoken about, in February, I welcomed the most beautiful little girl. Oh, she's so precious. She's so precious. And that is the full circle that God will bring you through. If there's anything that you take away from this message, not just the mix-up and the nosiness in my business, But let it be that if you are a truly God-fearing person, in the midst of adversity, in the depths of stress, in the depths of grieving, in the depths of confusion, just have so much faith that that is not the end of the story, that God is going to bring you through, and that it's just a season. It's just a season. Because the blessing that I've received in meeting my daughter right now, after all the stress that I've just spoken about going through in the past year, would have me do it all over again. All over again. I'm so happy and so blessed. I have 2 beautiful kids. I have a business that's functioning and that I'm able to support myself and my family off. I'm happy, I'm blessed, I'm loved. I can feel my drive coming back because I really lost my drive last year. And although I really wanted to go straight to a new salon after I had to move, I'm really glad I didn't, because my body was telling me for a long time that I was physically under too much strain. So I took the time after the last move to just go back to the drawing board, take my time, restructure Seasonal Glo. Seasonal Glo, when it comes back, will not be as you know it. Positive things that you would have seen on social media that I've revealed so far is that we've started our own product line. There's so much projects that we're working on, like I really don't want to go all out and say them all on this video, because I'm gonna be making more content, so you'll see more and hear more as time goes on. If you've made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching, because this has just felt like a little therapy talk right now. It's been a little diary. If it's one thing about me, I'm gonna always talk my truth. So I'm glad I've got certain things off my chest. When my daughter was born, she was in the NICU for a week because she was struggling with her breathing. She got rushed down to the NICU. You just got so much doctors and nurses around her. You know, baby cannulas and all these tubes coming out of her nose and stuck to her body. My heart, especially because of what our family just went through in December, I was so stressed with just seeing her in that state. But I also had this peace in knowing that God was going to look after her and that she was going to be okay. And she is. She's beautiful and healthy and happy. I truly give birth to some happy babies, because both my babies have always been smiley and happy. Like, can you believe what I'm saying right now? Both my babies. I'm a mom of 2. How ghetto. 2 kids, you know. So literally me, Kamari, and my daughter all were in hospital for a week within the space of 3 months. I've just been in the hospital a lot, and I'm just focusing on my health now, trying to eat a lot healthier, because the pregnancy depression just took me to just an awful place. Like, I was just ordering so much takeout. I stopped cooking. I didn't have any passion for cooking, so I just was ordering loads and loads of takeout. I was literally spending, I'm so embarrassed to say, but I was spending like £400 or £500 a month on takeaway. That's a mortgage. I was spending a mortgage on takeaway food. Honestly, I'm embarrassed, but I'm telling my truth. I'm not in that place anymore. I'm eating home cooked meals, going on some walks, and I'm just in this happy bubble now. Like, I was in a depressed bubble in the pregnancy, and now I'm in this happy bubble. I'm in this blessed bubble where I can stay at home with my baby, work on my business, do some clients from home, and just continue to grow as a person. But yeah, Seasonal Glo, is never going anywhere. I'm so sorry to anybody I disappoint when I say that, because I know there's some people waiting for you to fail, but Seasonal Glo ain't going nowhere. I'm coming back harder and stronger. So watch this space. I truly, truly do feel like over the past year, I've needed the break. I've needed the break from social media. I've needed the break from people. I've needed the break from just the world. And I definitely have become a little bit of a recluse in some moments. How I ended up with a whole baby undetected by so many people. There are so many friends that I've been friends with for years, love so dearly, that don't know I've had a baby. So if you felt like you were played, like, why didn't you know? Honey, there's so many people that didn't know. And if we are close and you still don't know that I have had a baby, you actually need to check yourself, because that means you really don't check in on me. Like, you really don't know what's going on in my life. And it also means you don't see me in person, because there's some friends that I've spoken to on the phone that I didn't tell that I was pregnant. Truthfully, because I wanted that moment to tell people in person, for one. For two, I was so hormonal throughout that pregnancy that the slightest thing could throw me off and just could have me break down in tears. So I didn't really want to tell somebody something so deep over the phone or over a text. I wanted to have that moment in person where we talk and we connect. And I'm a very open book when it comes to my emotions. I'm very private when it comes to the details of my life a lot of the time. But emotions wise, if you say to me, how are you feeling, see, and I'm not feeling good, I'm finna let you know I'm not feeling good. So I did let a lot of people know that we're checking in, like, really not in a good place at the moment. But I just didn't explain why, which is where I say check in on your peoples, because somebody like me is always going to be good. However, some of the one-on-ones that I had with certain friends that really just was like, I need to go and check in and see, brought us closer than ever, because either I just opened up in ways that I've probably never opened up to them before and we bonded off of that, or I damn right bawled in front of some people and just let out all my emotions and just cried while they held me. Like, my purpose in life is definitely to raise some beautiful babies, some beautiful, healthy, conscious, loving, passionate, like, caring, intelligent kids. That is definitely a big part of my purpose, because it brings me joy, it brings them joy, and the joy I see them give to the rest of the world, that's my purpose. I truly, truly understood, no matter how low I was, that I was never alone. God had me. God carried me. God comforted me. God made space for us to just be alone, so that he was the only person I could lean on. And that is truly one of the biggest things that I would take away from how low I was feeling over the past year. I just lost myself. I lost my ambition. I didn't feel like I wanted to scale the business. I didn't feel like I wanted to post about the business and sing about it. I just wanted to sink into a little hole. And if I could, I wouldn't have left out the house. But I wouldn't have even stepped out to go to work, and even have went to school run if I didn't have to. I would have hid myself from the world for a little bit longer. Hey, princess. Mother Judy calls, baby. I feel like I probably missed some things out, because there's just been so much that's happened over the past year. But that is the thick of it. It seems so small when you say it now. I fell out with so much people because my hormones just couldn't take the I couldn't take the foolishness. If I spotted that you did something that just felt fishy to me, but I'd chop you like scissors on a guan. I weren't having nobody around me that was gonna bring down my vibrations, because I already felt low enough. Shh, too loud, princess. Too loud, princess. I'm definitely feeding. I already felt low enough, so I didn't feel like I could give anyone else access to me to bring me down any lower. One thing about me, no matter how low I feel, I know true in my heart that God's going to lift me back up at some point. I know I need to ride the wave. But in that moment, I had to ride that wave. I had to ride the emotion. It's nothing that somebody could have said to me. Sometimes you really do have to just sit in the sadness and go through the motions and just know it's temporary. My mum and my dad had me. Like, there's no one else I would rather have called or had in my life than my family in the moments. Nobody. That they had my back. There's nothing I could have asked them for that they wouldn't have, you know, dropped everything at this click of a button to come and do for me. Again, more moments for me to bond, more moments for me to get closer to my family. There are so many silver linings with every cloud. But yeah, I've been chatting for ages, so I'm done now. But thank you so much for watching. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Trouble.